Other M issue 5. Sonic wakes up in the bed while Antoine doesn't seem to really have one, and he's holding a sword. He says a horribly misspelled bonjour and calls Sonic a lazy cuss. Lazy just because he's sleeping like he should be. He growls at Sonic for calling him Twan, and complains that he still can't believe he beat him. Yeah, he can't believe someone with super speed beat a mere mortal. He asks where Sonic learned to fight like that, and Sonic says it's a secret. Surprisingly, Antoine leaves it alone, and says that he'd better heal up fast because he's sick of sleeping in the straw. Sonic manipulatively exaggerates his pain, and that bad acting somehow fools Bunny, who's bringing him soup and tells Antoine to stop disturbing the patient. Antoine complains that he's in his bed, showing no compassion for someone injured. Also, that's not how you spell do in French. Even the canon comic got that right, just like bonjour. Bunny says impatiently, "Oh, go spar with Rotor or something." Antoine shows even more lack of empathy, calling this place a sick house, and Bunny naturally yells at him to leave, calling him a varmint, although she's smiling, which probably shows what good friends they are. I'm not sure how anyone can be good friends with Antoine when he's a jerk like this, though. Sonic says that he's noticed how mostly everyone has some kind of disfigurement from the war against the Guardian, pointing out Bark having similar treatment and revealing out of nowhere that Antoine's hands are raw from swordplay. How would he know that? He asks what happened to Bunny, and a wall of text explains that the magic Bean wields that lets him make those explosives is what led to him using too much during the first few weeks of battle, and out of nowhere, that magic began eating him away. That was spiteful of it. He saw what was starting to happen to him, so he was somehow able to concentrate it on that one arm. He can still use the arm, even though it's only bone now. Well, this is certainly fascinating, but unnecessary. I guess they thought it would be a really cool concept to have him look like that. Bean had lost his eye to explosion debris, and his legs were burned up from another bomb that he made that went off too soon. It makes a lot of sense that he gets so hurt from using something like bombs all the time, but if he's creating them magically, you'd think that he'd be able to have full control over when they go off and how big their explosions are so that he wouldn't get hurt like that. It was after that incident that Bunny and Bean had first met, as she was tending to him and they got to talking about each other, falling in love. Sonic asked, while looking charmingly interested with his hand on his face, why Bunny and Rotor seem unscathed. Yeah, that's pretty ironic for Bunny. I guess her only usefulness to the team is the team nurse. She says that it's because neither of them see much action, even though we clearly saw Bunny involved in the previous mission. Bean is too overprotective of her for a good reason, and this alternate Bunny is more of a healer anyways. Makes sense, she's a nice person, and why would she be a fighter without cyborgness? And Bean is worried about Rotor, as he lost a lot during the invasion of Mobotropolis. She says the rumor has it the Chaotix killed his parents and brother personally, only because they got to them before the Legion did. Rumor? Wouldn't you know that for sure? Wouldn't he tell her? Wouldn't he be constantly going on about it? Sonic says that logically that should make him fight better for their cause. And Bunny explains that Rotor keeps everything all bottled up and they're afraid that he'll get the wrong button pressed and fly off the handle. It's really interesting seeing a more harsh Rotor like this. I respect him a lot. I respect him more as that, probably because he looks like a strong muscle guy, so I'd expect him to be harsher, if unlikable. But that means him not fighting makes no sense as well. I expect him to be a lot more violent. Bunny yells at him that Bean's worried that Rotor will do something stupid and end up killed. Sonic looks sad at being yelled at, getting my sympathy again. He's very sympathetic in this comic, and Bunny goes back to looking worried about him. It's really good to have regular downtime issues rather than constant action. It gets you more invested in the heart of the story, which is especially necessary since you're in a whole brand new world with brand new freedom fighters. Sonic says that if he doesn't tell someone about his secret, he'll go crazy, but if he does, people think he's crazy. So that's why he hasn't told them until now. Bunny reassures him that crazy is better than how they all thought of him a week ago, and Bunny reveals that the alternate Sonic was as useful to them as the Guardian. Up until a week ago, they were thinking of turning him out. All the while, she's awkwardly apologizing for being so blunt and just coming out with it, getting my sympathy as she's relatable. She admits that while that sounded cruel, the alternate Sonic was just not worth it, and he was a major thorn when it came to his responsibilities. Sonic admits the truth to her. I'm glad he tells someone at least. Bunny wagers that his friends in the other world acted nothing like they do. Sonic says they're the exact opposite. Bunny says that she thinks she knows what's going on, and she thinks that he's known how much of a burden he's been for so long that he snapped and made a little world of his own where he could be whatever he wanted to be. And the concussion from that grenade got his thoughts mixed up. She thinks he'll remember his memories soon enough. Why does she think that he has a concussion when he clearly didn't have a head injury when Bean first met him? Sonic resentfully tells her she's wrong. Honestly, I'd be furious with her at this point. She's such a ditz. Really? Ugh, how genre blind can you get? She tells Sonic not to tell Fiona because he'd break her heart. Later, Bunny and Bean see Sonic sulking against the wall with his arms crossed, and he asks Bunny to talk to him for a minute. Sonic says he's not truly part of this family, the one made by their struggle. Bunny finds him poetic and she hugs him, giving him a place in the group. It's a very sympathetic struggle of Sonic to have, trying to feel accepted and welcomed in a group he's not normally in. Later, at night, we see Sonic climb up to the mountain he somehow knew Fiona was on. I guess he asked around. Also, with the way she looks like she has a white aura around her, she looks like she's a spirit glowing in the dark. But anyway, she asks him all annoyed what he wants as he almost slips and falls from the mountain. He says in a panic that right now all he wants is for her to give him a hand. She does a slow clap and says, "You're freaking hilarious." And she helps him out, and I finally get that he did a pun. She asks, "Anything else I can do for you?" And Sonic says, just share the sky with me." And Fiona says with a softened up smile, "I guess I can manage that." She scoots over to Sonic and he puts his arm around her to hold her close. She says that she could go to sleep like this, and Sonic thinks, "Good night, Sally," missing his ex-girlfriend still. Again, this is such charming chemistry for once. I'm smiling the whole time. This issue is by Ian Flynn. While Bunny assuming he's just delusional kinda makes sense, as she doesn't even know that other zones exist, and Sonic clearly has robot feet, so that would be one heck of a coincidence from her perspective that the other Sonic also has robot feet. Her being like that really frustrated me. She looked so genre-blind here. I do like the idea that she's that kind of psychoanalyst and can figure out a logical reason why her Sonic would be saying that and acting a new way. Like Bunny thinks that she really knows people. But I thought Bunny was gonna be his confidant, the only real friend he has who knows who he really is. But no, we're never gonna get something like that. At least the story ends with a sweet moment where Fiona scoots over to Sonic with some brief teasing before that to make it feel more natural. It's a testament to how relevant the story is that even a pun made me laugh. Again, it's great to have some downtime issues for a breather, getting me more invested in the universe. There's also some explanations given, as Bunny reveals the really arbitrary reason for why Bean's arm is just bone, as apparently his magic just does that to be spiteful. It explains that he got other injuries because while he can create bombs, he somehow can't control their explosions to avoid hurting him. Even though his fire didn't hurt Sonic when he touched it when trying to grab a bomb, but whatever. And she also has an arbitrary explanation for Rhoda not fighting. He's not allowed to because he's not trusted. Why the hell keep him around then? Isn't he, like, more useless than the old Sonic would have been? I hope he's an engineer too. You'd think that he'd really want to fight and get disgruntled from not being allowed to.